Hey everybody, Lauren here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little tutorial on my day-to-day makeup routine for my face. I have nothing on my face right now. I have cleansed it and I've moisturized. I actually used the Tarte Brighter Days moisturizer. It's a tinted moisturizer. I've been using it for a few days now and I'm actually really liking it. So I've cleansed, I have moisturized. So why don't we go ahead and just jump right into the video and get started. First and foremost is priming the skin. I know not everybody does it. I'm going to use the Porefessional by Benefit today. This has been kind of one of my go-to products lately. I just love the way it works on my skin and works with my skin. So it's this tan little cream, and it does not go on your skin looking this color. The whole point of it is to help blur your pores. So what I end up doing where my pores are a little bit more defined, I press into the skin first and then I buff it away basically with my fingers, and I only put it where I need it. This is not a primer that needs to go over your entire face. I do have some that I use. I actually have a sample of a Dermalogica primer that I put over my whole face because it has SPF in it. The Porefessional, I strictly put where I need it and that's it. I don't need it all over my face. So I have my primer on. I usually let my primer sit for a minute or two. If I'm doing my hair, I will work on my hair some more and then tame the thing a little. And then I'll go to my foundation. For today's video, I'm actually going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. So this is a full coverage foundation. I'm in the shade Fairly Light Beige. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but I do love it because it gives really great coverage and it is long lasting. So I go ahead and I actually put some on my finger just like I did with the primer, and I actually will dot this on my face and I will go back over places that I've dotted it on already to pick up a little bit more product to make sure I don't have too much product on all the places in my face. I don't want it to get too thick because it is a full coverage foundation. So if I do see spots like how I had on my forehead to where there was a lot on there, I'll just take from there before I grab more from the bottle. And then once we have it dotted all over our face, and again, this is just how I put on foundation. You could put it on however you want. Put it on the beauty blender first, put it on your brush first, use a brush. I'm gonna use a beauty blender. This is one of the Ulta brand beauty blenders. It is a little dirty. I've been using this for the past few days. I haven't had a chance to wash it yet, but I will use my beauty blender for a few days before I actually wash it. Disgusting, probably, I know, but you know, to each their own. So I dot the foundation all over my face and then I just go in and I start dabbing it out. Now I have noticed with this foundation is it does set rather quickly from time to time. It kind of all depends on my apartment. If it's cooler versus if it's hotter, all depends on how my foundation is going to act when I'm applying it to my face. So I do try to work a little quickly. And I do start a little bit lighter handed at first with the amount of product that I use, because I would rather have too little on my face and have to go back over spots than have too much on my face right away. So I do take care to blend into my ear as well and down onto my jaw a little, because you don't want those harsh lines. And I go into the hairline as well. You don't necessarily have to get right up under your eyes if you're going to use concealer. I have a tendency to go up and under some just to blend a little bit more. Now I get redness in my cheeks and I don't want that showing through, so I could either use a color corrector or I just apply more foundation. And then I'm going to go along my jaw a little bit more. And I'm just going to blend that out. I get more redness in the left side, so I do find I put a little bit more product on that side of my face if I'm not using a color corrector, which I do have one by Stila and I do enjoy using it, but for day-to-day purposes, I tend to just put a little bit extra foundation on and just blend it out that way. So now that we have our foundation on and blended, I'm gonna warn you guys, this is not my exact shade right now because I am using my self tanner. So if you do notice that my face is a little bit lighter to my neck, that is why I have not bought new foundation yet. That is on Friday's to-do list. So foundation is on. From there, we are going to concealer. I'm using the NYX HD concealer. This is their Studio concealer. And I tend to, because I do have to get up early, I tend to put a little bit more concealer on Monday through Friday. I'm up at 5:30 every day. I don't go to sleep until 10, 10:30, 11, and I have a cat, as you guys have seen, and she likes to wake me up. So I have a tendency to put on a little bit more concealer than I normally would on the weekends because I do get to sleep in. So put it on under my eyes. I do not put it anywhere else during the week. I use a highlighter during the week, but I find that putting on concealer all over my face is just too tedious, trying to have to blend it out when I'm trying to, you know, get ready, get dressed, make a lunch, and get out the door to get to work. So I just put it under my eyes, and then I go ahead and I blend it out. And I do love this concealer because it is a great coverage. Now there are times to where I do see some dark circles peeking through still, and I do still see it in here mostly, but it's great. It's buildable, which I do love, and it doesn't really crease. So we get that blended, and you guys can see it does highlight a little bit. And if I find that I need more, all I will do, and for demo purposes I'll show you guys, I will dot 2 dots, and that's all I do if I need more. And then I just go back in with my beauty blender, and I am using the pointed end this time, and I just blend that out. Quick, fast, in a hurry, super easy. So from here, if I have any product left, sometimes I'll blend up my nose, sometimes I'll go on my chin, and then sometimes I'll go on my forehead because my sponge may have soaked up a little bit of product, and I have found that it will disperse pretty well doing it that way. And if, you know, I'm having more redness in my skin that day, it helps conceal some of it. So foundation done, concealer done, and we are well on our way to being ready, and it's only been about 6 minutes, 7 minutes total. So from there I go to contour, and yes, I know this is supposed to be quick makeup, but I don't do a traditional contour when I'm getting ready in the morning, and depending on the morning also depends on the brush. If I'm a little bit sleepier, a little bit lazier, I will use a fluffy brush. This one is just an Ulta brand blush brush. Otherwise I will pull out the Lorac brush, the actual contouring brush that came with my Lorac Contour Kit. And I actually do use the contour kit because it is mattes, and I love that everything is matte. So this is the kit if you haven't seen it. The light contour is the one that I use all the time. There's a dark contour, and then there's a medium one. I don't use the medium or the dark right now just because it's winter, and I did buy this probably September, October, so the weather was getting a little bit colder. And then there are 2 matte highlighting shades, and then 1 actual highlight that has some shimmer in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap into this light contour, and we just tap it in, and I do tap the top to get some extra product off, and from there I just pop it. I hold it on an angle so it's mostly the edge only, and I apply it to my cheek to carve out the cheekbone, and I keep it on an angle You don't want to go straight on because it's going to fluff it out too much. So keep it on more of an angle and just blend. And then I blend upwards some, and I go back in and I blend it out. And then I go back up and I go a little bit higher and I blend around the forehead. Now there isn't going to be a whole lot of product on your brush, so you're not going to get a deep, dark, normal contour, but you get a lot of it on your cheeks, so it carves out your cheekbones more. And then when I'm done with that side, I do the same thing. I just tap it in, tap the extra off, and go in to the other side. And I start light-handed so I can kind of see where I'm at, and I will turn the brush as I go, and I just blend it out. And you just blend it until you're happy with it. And I find that if one side looks a little bit darker than the other, I will tap in lightly to the other product, tap off any excess, and I'll just go in with a very light hand and blend. And then lastly, at the very last thing, now people say 3 and E if you're just doing like a quick bronzing. I used to follow that method. I actually don't anymore. So I do my cheekbones, forehead, and then I go in just with the brush. I don't even tap back into the product whatsoever. I use whatever is left on my brush, and I just go underneath, back and forth under my jawline. So you help kind of define your jaw a little bit with whatever product is left on your face. And then that's that. That's all I do. It brings some definition to my face. It helps kind of liven up my face a little bit if I've been having an extra long week, if I'm looking a little pale, if I'm just looking tired and my skin looks worn down. It does bring some oomph to my face. From there, we go to blush. I'm gonna use the Cargo. This is the water resistant blush in the shade Bali. So it's this great rosy pink color. And I just take my fluffy blush brush, tap it right into the product, tap off the excess, and I just pop it right onto my cheeks. Real quick like, just to give some color to my cheeks. Put it on my the apples of my cheeks a little bit. And that's all. 2 seconds, that's all you need, and you're done with blush. And then from there, most days I will do this. I will use my highlight. This is the Becca Highlighter in Moonstone, and I actually use this fluffy Japanese brush. It's actually a concealer brush, but I use it for my highlight. I just swirl the product around, and then I just pop that right on. And you get that awesome glow. I bring it up a little bit. Other side. And I brush it down my nose once or twice, chin, above the lip, with any excess product that's going to be on there. And then we're done with our highlight. We have a nice glow. And last but not least, this is the Mario Badescu facial spray. So it's got aloe, rose water, and different herbs in it. It's basically a freshening up mist, but it also helps set your makeup, and I've been using it for a while, and it does great with my makeup, and it also helps kind of revive my face a little bit. So for this, I pull my hair back, and then we spray. However much you guys want to use is up to you, however little, however lot. I tend to go a little bit more because I really wanted to set my makeup, but that's it. We are at my timer is saying just under 15 minutes, and we have a full face of makeup. Granted, I didn't do my eyes, but for face makeup itself, that took all of 15 minutes. So for those of you that are looking for a quick routine, I really do hope that this helped you guys out. I can get ready probably full makeup, including eyeshadow, eyeliner, brows, lip product, which I did have one somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I was gonna put one on, but I can usually get this done in 45 minutes tops. If I'm not putting on eyeshadow, it does go a little bit quicker, but it's as easy as that. So girls, if you are looking for a quick routine, it is possible. You've seen it here. You've seen my makeup, bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use, basically. Blush, highlight, the works. I have done it. You've seen it, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys also learned something. If you have any questions, any tips for me even, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video, and make sure you click subscribe before you leave. Bye guys!